Hello, welcome back to Piers Rocks. Today, it's Raspberry Pi's chance to get its own back, as I give 5 reasons why the RP2350 is better than the STM32F4 microcontroller. In the companion video to this one, where I gave 5 reasons why the STM32F4 microcontroller is better than the RP2350, I got accused in the comments of comparing apples with oranges. That person was absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm doing here. To extend that analogy further, if I'm eating roast pork for my dinner, I like to have some apple sauce on the side. I don't think marmalade would go very well. But if I'm having duck, a l'orange is the way I'd go. With electronics, software, any other form of engineering, the engineer is presented with an application that they have to solve for and a whole bunch of different options and design decisions that they can make. One of the engineer's most important jobs is to make the right trade-offs between all the different competing factors. With an electronics component like an MCU, the engineer might be trading off the cost of a component, the availability of a component, the performance in a number of different dimensions, and even the brand. That's what I'm doing in this video. My application is One ROM, which aims to be the most flexible replacement ROM for your retro systems. So One ROM supports late 70s and 1980s computers and replaces the ROMs in those devices, which come in lots of different variants with a single hardware solution, all based around a microcontroller that allows that single hardware component to emulate lots of different ROMs. The reasons I'm giving in this video why the RP2350 is better than the STM32 is, like the last video, all based around One ROM and the trade-offs I had to make when designing this solution. Anyway, enough of the One ROM sales pitch. Let's look at the 5 reasons why the RP2350 is better for this application than the STM32F4. Number 1 on my list is the fact that the RP2350 has dual cores. It has 2 different processing cores and can run 2 different applications simultaneously. The STM32F4 only has a single core. And in One ROM, because of the strict timing requirements, I have to run everything in a tight loop in the CPU. And I don't have time to deal with interrupts. So on the STM32F4, the only thing that One ROM can do is serve that ROM. With the RP2350, on the other hand, the fact that I've got the second processor allows me to do parallel processing. You might notice both of these boards have USB sockets on them. This was a feature I recently added to One ROM to allow you to program the One ROM directly over USB. With the STM32F4, I have to detect via an interrupt whether USB is plugged in and then drop out of the byte serving algorithm and run a USB stack. I don't have to make that choice with the RP2350 because I've got the second core. I can run the USB stack 24/7 in that second core. USB can be available and running even while the One ROM is serving its ROM. The second reason is overclocking. So the stock max clock speed of this RP2350 is 150 megahertz. The stock max clock speed of the fastest STM32F4 microcontroller I support is 180 megahertz. But I've found that the RP2350 is much more overclockable than the STM32F4. With the STM32F4, I've managed to overclock the genuine STM variants up to around about 250 megahertz before they become unstable. Some of the clones I can get a bit higher, 350, 400 megahertz, while they remain stable. The RP2350, on the other hand, I've managed to run at between 500 and 600 megahertz and it remains stable. Why is this interesting and useful? Well, for faster systems, 2 megahertz, 4 megahertz systems, the byte serving algorithm may need to run much faster than the stock max clock speeds that these two microcontrollers can support. The third reason is that the RP2350 supports PIOs, parallel input-output state machines, which run in parallel to the 2 CPU cores that we already have. These are quite simple state machines and allow you to do very simple operations on the GPIOs. But when chained together with other PIOs and with DMAs and the CPUs, you can perform quite complex algorithms with the PIOs. I think this will allow me to move the byte serving algorithm for the RP2350 MCU off the first core entirely and run it solely in PIO and DMA state machines. This then gives me both cores on the RP2350 free to do other stuff. I'll continue running a USB stack on one core. On the second core, I can do stuff like actually monitor the addresses and bytes that are being served in the ROM. That would allow me to do some quite interesting things, like allow the ROM to be rewritten by the host itself by issuing a certain sequence of bytes as read addresses to One ROM. The fact I have that second core potentially available due to the PIOs means that the RP2350 One ROM can provide much more advanced capabilities. The fourth reason why I think that the RP2350 is better than the STM32F4 actually comes down to documentation. Both of these microcontrollers have really good documentation associated with them. The datasheet for the RP2350 is well over 1,000 pages. The reference manual for the STM32F4 is similarly well over 1,000 pages. There's lots of capabilities in these devices and they're both really well explained. But I find that the documentation for the RP2350 is just a bit more approachable than on the STM32F4 and a bit more human and has a bit more humour associated with it. And I actually enjoy that, and I think that's important when I'm spending hours actually reading the technical documentation for these devices. In particular, if you're working with the RP2350 and you haven't read the hardware reference design guide that Raspberry Pi produced, that's a must read. First of all, it's really important to understand how Raspberry Pi recommend you lay out the RP2350 because there's some particularly non-intuitive and non-traditional things that you need to do when laying out a board with the RP2350. But also I found the document enjoyable to read because it's written with a touch of humanity and a touch of humour. Now, the fifth reason I think the RP2350 is better than the STM32F4 microcontroller is a reason that will probably enrage many traditional engineers, and that's marketing. Raspberry Pi have the brand name. When I first introduced One ROM, it was with an STM32F4 microcontroller, and the number one question people kept asking me was, are you going to release a Raspberry Pi version? When are you going to release a Raspberry Pi version? Can we please have a Raspberry Pi version? For me, using the Raspberry Pi microcontroller in One ROM has brought me much more views on YouTube and much more publicity for the One ROM project than using the STM32F4. It disappoints me that marketing is a reason why you would choose one component over another in an electronics design, but it is the reality of the world. People love to hear about new products and services based around Raspberry Pi products. And in the hobbyist space, STM and their very capable range of microcontrollers is much less well known. I hope you enjoyed that video, found it interesting and useful. If you did, please do consider sticking around for the next one, where we're going to continue talking about One ROM and RP2350 microcontrollers and STM microcontrollers. Till the next video, rock on.